a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right?
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Jay. I'm with Pierre, my mentor.
Mason, the best realtor in the nation, your favorite realtor. I think I need to get a trademark because I see people start say they
Yeah, you probably need to get that trademark, bro. But man,
talk to him, Jay. Man, today is a big celebratory day.
today is a great day.
Route to go see some off-market properties because look, we boots on the ground. We ain't just talking about it, we about it.
But yeah, as Pierre said, man, today is a big celebratory day for me. I actually, stepped out on faith and, decided to create my LLC. I know that's a big win for me, Doing that makes me feel like it's real now. It's something that I own. I own something and I know it's mine. And the only way that it can't work is if I don't put in the work. So, I put in 7 days a week for companies. I worked 100 and something hours a week for companies, so it's time to, do it for myself.
The only time success comes before work is in the dictionary. And that only happens because of the alphabetical order. You dig? So, man, I'm super proud of you, bro. A lot of people are like, well, why you getting the LLC started now and, you have a deal on the contract? Let me answer that for them. If you don't stay ready, you always have to get ready.
Facts.
And when you come under my mentorship, we're about being proactive, not reactive, right? So, at the end of the day, the goal not only is to just have this LLC to say, oh, I have an LLC. No, we're going to go through 4 rounds of building him business credit without having to use his own name as the personal guarantor. Starting out with that 30 accounts, we're going to build that business up so that it's its own entity with its own financial prospective opportunities coming through lending opportunities, etc. So Jay, talk to him, man. Tell him about what the next steps are now that you get. How did you get the LLC started? What were some important things that you had to make sure that was done so you could be in position to be able to do those things we just mentioned?
Okay, perfect. So definitely, there's ways you can create your LLC. I'm more of a hands-on person. I like to do it myself and do the research. So you can go to these websites that charge you to create your LLC and things of that nature. But I decided to do it myself. We live in Illinois, so I went on the Secretary of State website, filled it out. Only thing I did need was a virtual business address because you can use your own address as your business address.
That's highly looked
Correct.
down upon when it comes time for you to actually get funded.
Correct.
I wonder why. They're gonna actually skip trace that company, and if they see a house address show up, you're not considered a legitimate company. And when it comes to funding, you don't have that many opportunities to double back. The other thing is, this is public record.
Facts.
So if somebody searches your entity, they're gonna pull up your home
address.
Pull up on you. So
Yeah, and I'm not trying to have that.
exactly.
So yeah, I got the virtual address. I needed a registered agent. So you definitely need a registered agent when you
What's a registered agent?
Registered agent is someone besides you in the business that receives like legal documentations. Stop me when I'm wrong. Legal documentations and just things on your behalf. The mail.
Yeah. They're making sure that if anybody sue you, that they're able to say, hey, Jay, you getting sued.
Correct.
You got served. That's really what it's about.
Yeah. So it's actually called what I did do on the Secretary of State is the Articles of Organization. That's the actual name of it. The LLC that I formed, Maxi Capital Holdings Group LLC. So that's what I
you
did.
got 2 types. You got a single member where he can serve in all positions.
Correct.
Right? Secretary, registered agent, president, etc.
Correct.
Then you have a multi-member where there's more than one person on the business and they have different percentages of ownership.
Correct.
That's if you want to start like a family business, or let's say, hey, I got a real estate deal, I want to do a flip, I want to go out and get some hard money, but I just got a deal. How can I go about structuring a company and put all the missing pieces in play that I need to get this deal done? Well, you can put somebody in position on that company who has stellar credit, have them as your credit partner, find another person who is liquid, the money, and put them as an equity partner on that deal, and you just bring the deal to the table, right? Everybody eats.
Right. So yeah, I just set it up as a individual LLC. It was an option of doing a series LLC, but we'll get into that later. You know, I will need a series LLC eventually. So yeah, that was the basic setup. So now I'm just waiting the 10 business days for everything to come in. My next steps is to go on the IRS website and obtain my EIN number, which will allow me to go and open up a.
No. You get the EIN number from the Secretary of State, right? And
Okay.
use that to register with the IRS. So you can actually download after you fill everything out. They're gonna ask you, you want to download your EIN or do you want it mailed to you, right? So you can download it so you can go to the IRS immediately, and they're still going to mail you a hard copy.
Okay.
To your registered agent's address.
Cool. So yeah, guys, that's a big win for me. I know it may seem small to some, like, yeah, this dude just filled out some paperwork and paid some money, but I bet it on myself. You know, bet on yourself. A lot of people hesitate, and we and Pierre was just talking about this yesterday about fear. You know, like how we allow fear to stop us from doing things that we know we can do. So I had to overcome that fear, and you know, this is what I want to do. So bet on yourself. Don't let fear stop you from doing whatever you want to do.
You know they say fear stands for, Jay?
What's that?
FEAR, false evidence appearing real.
Gotcha.
Meaning it ain't even really nothing to really be
It's
tripping
fake.
over.
Facts.
You just put this all in your head as to what could go wrong instead of what could go right. It's called stinking thinking.
Stinking thinking.
So, you know, we don't subscribe to that whatsoever. So, again, we're en route to this off-market 3-unit. We're going to check in so we can kind of walk through and show you guys, you know, what our main objective is and why we're collaborating and what problems we're solving. So it's not just something you're hearing in some books and some maybes and possibilities, but you're going to physically see from beginning to end. And from zero to keys, it's about you guys watching Jay get his first deal under the contract. So,
yes, sir.
You know, I'm going to walk with him hand to hand and make sure it happens.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, guys, we'll see you in a minute. We're on our way to this off-market property.
All right, we're here with Jay Maxey, student, King Dominion University, from zero to keys. This is our first subject property. So talk to us a little about it, Jay. Tell us what we're going to be doing.
Okay, like you said, this is our first subject property. We're going to be going in, taking pictures, doing a walkthrough, potentially sending this to potential investors for this off-market property.
So you hear a lot of investors asking about ARV. What's the ARV? Can you talk a little bit about what that acronym stands for?
So the ARV is the after repair value of the property. It determines what the after repair value is, specifically what it said. Pretty straightforward.
Okay. So we're going to walk through here. We're going to take some pictures, some videos, and send it out to some investors so they can have their contractors run through this, get them a scope of work, and we get paid. All right.
Let's go.
All right, guys. So we're getting ready to go into this beauty of a home. We're here on 70th and Aberdeen. So let's take a look. Wow, this just smells like money up in here, right? So
Bless this home, huh?
Bless this home.
Put it on the wall.
So, with love and laughter. Well, look, this is the thing. When you're a rehabber, you want to look at, okay, what needs to be replaced and then how much of that, right? So if you're going to tear everything down, all the drywall, they need to see how much drywall sheets. A lot of things that investors are going to look for is windows, right? From the windows to the walls. We want to make sure what needs to be replaced is accounted for in that renovation budget. As you can see, it looks like somebody got in here and kind of took all of the copper out. The reason they do that is because scrap people scrap copper for money, right? So in this property, you'll notice the systems are missing, the furnace and the water heater, and then a lot of electric. So this is what we would consider a complete gut rehab. And you're going to see why it's a complete gut rehab. So let's go. All right. So on the top level, this third level, we got a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom. That's bedroom number 1 right here. Fit a king or a queen size bed, decent size closet. To immediate right, you have the bathroom, full bathroom with a shower. That needs to be completely gutted. New floors, new paint, new trim, new doors, new vanity, new sink, new toilet. Everything has to go. This one has a nice closet. You always want, space for your towels and everything. Bedroom number 2. As you can see, this was an older person living here. Probably had some problems, maybe a pet. So I would definitely get all of this stripped, gutted. Some flippers I seen just take shortcuts with just, taking out the trim, putting in new trim, primer and paint to get rid of any smells of animals. But on the plus side, what are we looking at? We see ductwork has already been run, right? You see those vents in the floor. In Chicago, you got to have 3 electrical outlets on each wall. Unos, dos, tres, have decent closet size. So looking at it from the eyes of an investor and a flipper, these are things that's going to add value. Here's I would say the master suite, king suite. You can see new drywall needs to be placed up in here. Paint, trim, floors, door. These are some super old floors. And that is all we have to offer right here on the first level. Let's take a look at the basement. All right, guys. So here we are in the basement. One of the things you want to look for in a property, abandoned property, or potential renovation for a flipper is livable square footage. The way real estate is tallied is you have a certain X dollar times the livable square footage. So here in this basement, it's been completely finished, although it needs to be remodeled and rehabbed. This is an extra bedroom, and it's a full bedroom because it has this beauty right here. This is called an egress window. So in the event of fire or something happens, you don't have those block windows where you be barbecue chicken, but you can actually get up out of there and get little. Also, take a look up above, like we talked about earlier. The HVAC is already ran, so you got duct work down here, so you have heat running throughout the property. All right, you may see it as disgusting, but with the right renovation team, this is money, good money, because it's a brick property. All right, here we have another half bathroom. That's a value add. And then here we have the utilities, plumbing wall, right? The washer and dryer. The bowl was right there. It's not much room because whoever lived here was a hoarder. So Jay, you could swing around and show them around the corner where it used to be. HVAC. Yeah, it's gone. Right? There's the electrical panel on the wall. Right? So the electric may need updating or not. And guys, this is what we're looking for. Hot water tank. So you want to make sure it's forced heat or radiator heat. You got to determine it's a boiler or a furnace. Then you got to determine if it's a furnace, have the ductwork been fully adequately run through. You saw in that first floor when we looked up in the ceiling, there was a big hole in one of those bedrooms. So that's a good indicator that, hey, we need some roof work done. How much? Who knows, right? That's up to the investor. But we want to give them a roundabout idea of what needs to be done before they step foot in here so it's no surprises. But investors have what's called a buy box. They don't care about all this junk, right? They'll hire somebody to come clean this thing out. They'll hire someone to come demo and to the studs, and then they just come in and finish it off with new finishes, paint, trim, floors, doors, roof, whatever the case may be. But you want to present an off-market deal to your investor, your fix and flipper, rehabber, buy and holder, whatever their exit strategy is. You want to give it to them a la carte, like a layup or an assist, if you will, so they have a slam dunk on their deal. All right, guys, again, it's PNJ, J and P from Zero to Keys. Stay tuned.
So, guys, we're in property number 3 right here on 81st and Harvard, not too far from Simeon High School, the wrong blue and gold. Just kidding. What's up, Cavaliers? So, yeah, what I expect to learn this time on this tour of this property is potentially, I already know what the ARV is. Like, what are we looking for in terms of estimated values? How do we get the MAO, which is the max accepted offer, and things of that nature? How do we get our numbers in order to let our investors know what the price is or things of that nature?
Peace and love, family. It's your boy PM Mason, best realtor in the nation, your favorite realtor's favorite realtor. All things off market. Episode number 2. We're at our third bando, if you will. We're gonna do a walkthrough again with Jay, so we can kind of go over scope of work, what potential renovation rehab numbers is gonna look like, potential out that value adds that he can pitch to investors to make this property more marketable than not. It's a brick bungalow. We're right on 81st and Harvard. So let's go take a look inside and see what's going on. Woo! Man, that was crazy. Like, we couldn't record anything inside. You see, I got my microfiber car wash towels to put over our noses because it was, when a roof breaks, you get moisture and that damp smell. It's not nothing to play with. You don't want to ingest that or inhale that. You know, it could be black mold. It could be very, very detrimental to your well-being. So when you pull up prepared. You see, I'm a little overdressed, but I'm the favorite realtor for a reason, because I'm like Clark Kent. I hop in the phone booth and then hop right out and have on some sweats and a hoodie, then be suited and booted in the very next breath. But for you, make sure you guys wearing some sneakers. You know, hard bottoms are not suggested. Make sure you bring a flashlight to a lot of these properties. And last but not least, use an accountability buddy. Don't come along, especially the ladies. You know, I know a lot of you guys want to get into this off-market game, but when you're running through these properties, this ain't something you're going to be cute and dolled up to do. All right. So again, it's your favorite realtor's favorite realtor. We're going to highlight these. If you want to be added to our buyers list, drop your name and email address in the comments below. Peace and love. What's up, everybody? It's your favorite realtor's favorite realtor, PM Mason, best realtor in the nation.
Your boy Jay Max, Jay Maxie, or Jay, the one that doesn't play, but make sure you get paid.
I love it. I love it.
You heard what I say?
Man, it's always a treat when players meet. So we just want to talk about what we did today and what we're going to discover with the off-market properties that we're going to process and do our assessment of. So the first one that we want to talk about is on 81st and Harvard. We're not giving out full addresses. That's the first rule of thumb. Right?
81st and Harvard.
We're not setting ourselves up to get backdoored on our deals. Pause.
Big facts.
Big facts, right? So this one on 81st and Harvard, if anyone does their due diligence, the after repair value, we're looking at the upper 385 to anywhere between 385 and 409.
Facts.
Right? So this property off market, we're looking at for 139. That leaves, I mean, roughly, if you put about 50 to 60 grand in that property, that'll bring you to like 199. After you pay your closing costs, you're looking at say about 25 grand. That'll bring you to like 215, right? 199, no, 225. So what's the difference between, let's say, 400 and 225, or 409 and 225? Looking at 180 to 175,000 dollars in profit, Jay.
Wow.
On a flip. Now, do you see why people are looking for off-market inventory from people like you and me?
Big facts. I definitely can understand and correlate to why people are looking for them just by going on the walkthrough. Like, it's diamonds in the rough, man. It's like it's gold in the trash.
Gold in the trash. So what were some of your takeaways from, you know, today's ride along? We saw 3 properties. The first one was a 3-unit. Someone put a chain and locks on the front and back gates. So that one was a little bit of a womp. Second one we went by on what was that, 71st and 70th in Aberdeen. Yeah. And then third one we went by was on 81st and Harvard.
Yes. 3
neighborhoods, 3 different ARVs. What were your takeaways from what we did today?
My takeaways is unexpected, because you know, I wasn't ready to go in some of those places, and you know, it be, excuse me, stuff everywhere. You know, I'm not gonna say the word, but
sugar, honey, iced tea.
Man, I was trying to watch my step and all of that good stuff, but you know, basically learning how to assess a property, actually going in, looking for certain things, making sure, you know, you are estimating correctly and things of that nature. So I learned about the max acceptance offer. Learned pretty much a good deal about how to compare and how to come up with the actual price or the median of the comps in the area, and how you price it out, and how you determine profit, determine what you're going to market it for.
Perfect. And you know, specifically the label or the identifier for these types of properties, they're called distressed properties. Whenever you see a property that is abandoned, maybe it needs a roof, drywall is torn, like this is what's called a non-performing asset. A non-performing asset, because we call it real estate, but it's really an asset class, right? Correct. So if you had any asset that was sitting dormant, not making you no money, it would be in your best interest to change that. And real estate gives you that power. Like if you have a stock that's not performing, there's really nothing you can do but hope and pray. If you have crypto that's not performing, there's nothing you can do but hope and pray, right? But with real estate, it's that one asset that you actually have some onus and you have some say in how that asset performs. So distressed properties and distressed sellers is what we're specializing in. This is the ropes that Jay is learning. So guys, in the comments, if you know anybody who's distressed, maybe they're tired from being a landlord, maybe they're moving, relocating, maybe they inherited a property, any pain point, drop your name or in a fire emoji in the comments, and we're going to reach out to you guys.
Yes, sir. One more thing I probably want to say before we end this is, another thing that I noticed too is while you're looking for money, you find money. And I say that to say we were over in the area and we came upon another property while we was over there.
Yeah, we sure did, on the MLS.
Yes.
Like he said, looking for gold, you may find a diamond. And we were actually on the same block looking at distressed properties, and we found one that was listed on the multiple listing services, or the MLS. Yeah. So this is a good gauge of what's going on in the neighborhood. Yeah. Chatham is on fire.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Chatham is on fire, man. Look, we had a 2-flat that I renovated with my dad on 81st and Vernon before he passed away. And this was before COVID, and that boy appraised at $425,000.
Wow.
So, hey guys, we're trying to lock arms with you guys. We're trying to build a community. If this is something that you're interested in learning, again, drop that fire emoji in the comments and let's lock arms.
And just bear with me as I learn. I may not get the words right, I may not get the definitions right, but I'm understanding it. And of course I'm gonna ask questions. So like I said, just beginning from zero, and you're gonna see the keys in a minute.
Yep. Listen, massive action, constant correction. Massive action, constant correction. Is nothing wrong with developing. Like going back to our football analogies,
right?
Coming out of college, you may be used to the scheme, you may be used to the coaching of that college trainer, but once you get to the big leagues,
you got to learn a whole another system, another family, another everything,
right? New culture,
playbook.
Whole new playbook,
because they may run their plays different, and then it based on are you using offense or are you using defense.
There you go. So guys, it's your favorite realtor's favorite realtor,
and your boy Jay, the one that don't play,
and you gonna get your pay. We signing out. Peace and love, and stay tuned. Like, share, and subscribe. And guys, tell a friend to tell a friend.
Stay blessed.
See you on the next episode, and don't meet me there. Beat me there. Peace.